So a while back I made a video on the current state of spongetube, which is looking not too good. This was a couple of months ago and the white thumbnail background meta was in full effect. There was no way to tell like any SpongeBob channel apart because they all had identical thumbnails and identical video topics. And while I would like to say that it's gotten better, it's just gotten more confusing with the ChatGPT run channels being aware of their reputation and switching out their SB129 Squidward Void thumbnails for thumbnails that range from just copying others to this. And one of these channels is really inspired by my channel. Sponge Truths is a channel that I didn't talk about in my original video, but he was still in there multiple times. Now entire channel spawn into just to that. And it goes beyond retelling theories that are already posted on YouTube. So this channel started off ripping off SpongeBob theories on YouTube, specifically Alex Bale of course. Every single one of these channels have done that at least once.
The Flying Dutchman is the ghost of Patchy the Pirate.
What if I told you that the Dutchman and Patchy share something bigger than their fake pirate personas?
But then he found someone else to copy, and that was yours truly.
So what's really going on with SpongeBob's bizarre bedroom? You've got the diving board, the bed perched up high, an alarm clock that seems to be louder than life itself. But is there more to it?
This first video is truly written by ChatGPT. The word choices makes it very obvious.
Is SpongeBob's bedroom just a random collection of quirky items, or could it hold some deeper meaning about the world of Bikini Bottom? Or even about SpongeBob himself? I mean, what if SpongeBob's bedroom is not just a backdrop, but a mirror of his personality?
You can also really tell this with how this channel responds to comments. That's something I like to look at to decide if there is AI or stuff like that involved, cause bro uses ChatGPT language everywhere except for when he comments. Like, in the comments he talks like I do, but then in the videos he talks like he is trying to get an English degree.
When it comes to Plankton, not all interpretations are lighthearted or quirky. One particularly provocative theory suggests that Plankton's failures aren't accidental, they're deliberate.
Matter of fact, let's go through what he says when accused of using AI in his comments. No AI here, and it's his first channel. That first one is obviously something I think is a lie, but the second one is interesting as well. The YouTuber Blooms recently made 2 videos about the South Park Content Farm channel, and something he pointed out as sus there was how the editing was so high quality right from the start, even though what was being said was a lot of bullshit. That applies here as well. Like I said in my first video on SpongeTube and AI, no one just spawns in with editing like this. And that's not even a compliment to the editing, cause this guy's editing is annoying as fuck. Like, I'm surprised he don't like modern SpongeBob with how he thinks random sound effects every other second is something good. Something else Blooms mentioned in his expose of Ceric Artman is how no links to any social media or any way to contact the channel for sponsorships and stuff like that is kinda sus. I kinda can't really agree since I didn't have that for a long while, but this channel is a lot more professional than mine, so I would say this applies here as well. Nothing in the channel about page and nothing in any of the video descriptions. All we can find out is that this channel was made in 2007, which is crazy. Like, not age shaming or anything, but that just makes me really hope it's not the same person commenting. Something I didn't notice at first either is just how much he wants to be me, cause looking at his channel banner is kinda funny. It's even lined up poorly on mobile, like mine is. Then we got the thumbnails, which, yeah, he stepped away from the white thumbnail background to just do what I do. You know, I did the curious case of SpongeBob's library and the curious case of SpongeBob's garage, so of course he would do the curious case of SpongeBob's bedroom and the curious case of SpongeBob's brain office. And then we got the "where is it" text. Actually, he changed that text to say "what does it mean," which better suits his ChatGPT script at least, cause it's all about meaning with ChatGPT, it's all about symbolizing and stuff. We're gonna get into that really soon. Then he explored the Krusty Krab, and then just SpongeBob's house. Real original content here. And we are not even gonna talk about how much does X character make videos. These thumbnails speak for themselves, like, just put the chat in the GPT. He also tends to get stuff just wrong, which is, you know, human, ironically, but it's also really easy to get stuff wrong when you ask ChatGPT to write videos, because it lies a lot.
After a giant blue-lipped clam steals and eats Mr. Krab's prized millionth dollar in clams, the gang tries to catch the clam to get the dollar back. But after 3 weeks of no success, Patrick comes up with a plan out of nowhere. They're highly skilled. Story goes that SpongeBob, eager to settle into Bikini Bottom after landing his iconic job at the Krusty Krab, was on the hunt for the perfect home. And after searching for homes for a long time, he found a rogue pineapple.
Yo, what? SpongeBob was actually homeless in Help Wanted? I had no idea. Also, not getting this reference when that is literally your channel icon is funny.
Excuse me. Can I get a couple ice cubes in here, please?
Sure. A couple of ice cubes coming up. Here you go.
Thanks. Huh?
You have this guy on screen for like half of each of your videos, or like probably more than that, and yet you don't know where it's from.
No free rides, Mrs. Puff, desperate to get rid of him, gives SpongeBob a license. And you can guess what happens next. He causes chaos in Bikini Bottom as he drives around recklessly until he miraculously pulls off a perfectly executed maneuver to save the day.
That does not happen in No Free Rides. Like, what version is bro watching?
SpongeBob SquarePants!
Something else that's a bit suspicious about channels like this is when they talk about popular internet theories, but don't show them on screen.
Still, there's that one user who believes SpongeBob turns his garage into his library when he wants to. Like a transformer, but for places.
Like showing a random Truman Show Reddit thread when talking about something about SpongeBob from Reddit. This is because ChatGPT lies and credits the theories it itself writes, or not writes itself, because that's giving it too much credit. It's often from somewhere, but they're crediting it to users on random sites. Like he says one Reddit user or something like that, and he doesn't have a source to put on screen. He doesn't have like an original post or something, because it's just not true.
Another similar but darker theory has it that he's actually part of the Mafia and that the library holds the intel of the CIA. Dope. In the episode Gone, SpongeBob is left alone in Bikini Bottom, and strangely, he's shown driving a boatmobile without incident.
Without incident? Watch the episode, bro. Like, what do you mean without incident?
Oh, yeah. Listen to that purr.
This move solidifies Bodhi's place in the franchise, allowing fans to step into SpongeBob's oversized shoes, or fins, and experience the mayhem firsthand.
Fins? Jesus Christ, bro. At least make a sponge joke or something. SpongeBob doesn't have fins. And not only does he refuse to show sources for like theories and stuff, he also literally refuses to show evidence for like claims he makes about the show.
SpongeBob's bedroom in the SpongeBob movies, where his room takes on entirely new forms. In the SpongeBob SquarePants movie and the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water, the room is shown with even more detailed three-dimensional textures, which makes it feel more tangible.
Especially in this video. He will say stuff like, SpongeBob's bedroom looks vastly different between episodes, and then he just doesn't show different episodes.
SpongeBob's room has undergone a lot of changes. It has shifted in ways that can seem almost as wacky as the sponge who sleeps there. In one episode, it's one way, and in another, something slightly off, as if Bikini Bottom is playing tricks on us.
This guy yaps about SpongeBob's alarm clock and it supposedly being different sizes and stuff, but he keeps showing the same image of the clock.
His alarm clock changes design at various points, and sometimes even the placement of the window seems to change, depending on the episode.
Like one commenter called him out for saying throughout the seasons and then just showing season 1, and this guy replied, maybe a part 2? Like, there is no way this is the same person commenting as the person who is using like words like this in the video.
Maybe his room, in its odd, ever-changing way, is a reflection of his boundless imagination and unpredictable nature.
The same happens when he describes stuff in SpongeBob's house, in his Curious Case of SpongeBob's House video.
The attic isn't just a forgotten storage space, it's a treasure trove of SpongeBob's hidden interests. You will find jellyfishing nets, spatulas, and more. It's basically the place where SpongeBob's quirkiest ideas are born. And yes, there's also a hat rack dedicated entirely to his many work hats.
Did bro just not have footage of the episode, or is the AI lying to him so he couldn't find it? He also just seemingly decides stuff is true without proof, like saying the Krusty Krab is open 9 hours a day, 6 times a week, which if you have watched SpongeBob and like know who Mr. Krabs is, you would know that makes no sense.
Over a typical 9-hour shift, the restaurant serves approximately 180 customers. If Mr. Krabs keeps the Krusty Krab open 6 days a week,
he even later says that SpongeBob works 23 hours a day, so I guess the AI script isn't like proofreading itself.
We know that SpongeBob works nearly 23 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is almost impossible.
He also in this video decides that the Krusty Krab is in Liberia for some reason.
Mr. Krabs treats the Krusty Krab like a vessel, and he's able to fly a Liberian flag of convenience, meaning he's only required to pay his employees the Liberian minimum wage.
The comments like called him out for this, like just being confused, which I mean I don't blame them, but as soon as you realize that this is just an AI content farm, it makes sense.
After all, Squidward's family background remains a mystery, and there's no mention of his parents or any clue about his financial situation.
He also says that Krabby Patties are $25 when the evidence is right there that they are way less than that.
And if we assume each Krabby Patty is priced at a fine dining price of $25, this underwater burger joint could be raking in around $1.4 million a year.
He keeps insisting in this video, as well as another one, that Krabs and his mother are the only Krabs we see in the show.
The theory comes from the fact that we never really see any other Krabs in the show apart from Mr. Krabs and his mom. Could it be that Mr. Krabs is the last surviving crab because he's been using his species as the main ingredient in his burgers?
Despite that not being true and it even being pointed out to him between the videos.
What makes this theory even more chilling is the fact that Mr. Krabs is one of the only crabs we ever see in Bikini Bottom. The absence of other crabs raises some questions. What happened to him?
Actually, in this one, he forgets about Mama Krabs as well, even though he knew at least that in the other video. Not having any consistency between videos is a red flag, and like forgetting, like becoming dumber between videos, that's even worse. He says the Chum Bucket is Krabs' only competitor.
Bikini Bottom doesn't seem to have many options for dining. and the Krusty Krab reigns supreme while its only competitor, the Chum Bucket, struggles to get just one person.
Which is obviously not true. If you have seen the show, there are plenty of other restaurants in the show. There is even an episode where SpongeBob gets fired, so he goes to work for other restaurants, so yeah. He correctly says that the Krusty Krab is a lobster trap 2 times in this video.
There's the fact that the Krusty Krab itself is designed to look like a lobster trap. It is a subtle but curious choice.
Before just changing it to a crab trap to fit the narrative of a half-assed theory.
The theory goes that the restaurant may be symbolic of how Mr. Krabs exploits others. In real life, crab traps are used to lure crabs in with bait and make them prisoners.
He says that Krabs built a vault for a penny in this episode, when it's just crabs going to the bank.
In one episode, he builds an elaborate vault just to store a single penny. Yes, I know it's played for laughs, but it could be a clue that Mr. Krabs has more to hide than you think.
Which is a mistake I think would be impossible for a human to make. Wink wink. He makes a whole 15+ minute video about how much money Sandy makes, yet he doesn't mention the season 4 episode where that's pretty much explained with her bosses coming to Bikini Bottom.
These exploits might seem like hobbies, but they could also hint at sponsorships or funding from parties interested in her research and daring feats.
He almost got it too. It's like he knows the answer to this question and knows the episode exists, but can't mention it since, I don't know, that wouldn't make the video 15 minutes. Or it's just that ChatGPT forgot to tell him about this episode.
Adding it all up, we're looking at labor $226.30, ingredients $126,000.
This channel's videos feature some horrifying AI images too, and if a channel that covers a 15-season show with hundreds and hundreds of episodes, they still feel the need to use AI images for the show, I don't know. I feel like the voice and script are not too safe either at that point.
So we've explored Sandy's income sources, debated fan theories, and even compared her career to real-world counterparts.
We did? Shit, that's news to me. Not gonna lie, that's not what this video was. This was him repeating for 15 minutes that science equipment is expensive and that maybe someone pays her on land, but not looking at the episode where that happens, you know.
But, do you keep thinking about how much money Mr. Krabs makes from this beloved restaurant?
You already answered that by deciding he lives in Liberia.
Or is it just me? Well, I was so hooked to this question, I spent 4 working days trying to figure it out, and I'm gonna share my findings with you now.
4 working days? You dropped another video 3 days before this, and another 3 days before that. So, unless bro just told on himself that it's not one person working for 4 days. I mean, that's another thing, right? Blooms brought up in, I think his first video, probably both, that a channel just having editing of super high quality and very high production value and everything, and then just dropping multiple videos a week and stuff, that being crazy, especially when the channel just spawns in, right? I can see with an established channel where they are obviously doing this full time, but yeah, this work ethic is actually kind of crazy, you know. I get 1 video out a week and I don't spend 4 working days on it.
From $1.25 to $2.99, the prices vary as much as SpongeBob's laugh. But for this analysis, let's stick to the high end, $2.99.
Well, in the other video, the high end was $25, right? Not even high end, bro just decided it was $25, but now he wanna consult the actual evidence. But that also says $3 and not $2.99, but you know, close.
With 20 tables and an endless stream of hungry patrons, it's easy to assume 180 customers a day.
20 tables? Bro, the AI is lying to you again. I would like to see some evidence of there being 20 tables in the Krusty Krab. This is the problem also with just using random videos from the SpongeBob YouTube channel and never show what you're actually talking about, like on screen.
If we estimate 180 customers daily and the Krusty Krab is open 6 days a week, that's 1,080 patrons every week.
See, now you have tables on screen here, like instead of earlier, and it's definitely not 20. Like, I watched this episode that this is from Help Wanted, right? And I used this image in my non-AI video on the Krusty Krab, and I like made an estimation of how many tables are in here, like with the ones we presumably don't see on the side, and I can just tell you it's not 20.
At $2.99 per meal, we're looking at over $167,000 in gross revenue.
Is that in Liberian dollars?
In real life, Liberia is one of the most popular countries for flagging ships in international waters because of its extremely lenient labor laws and low registration fees.
Oh, it actually is. This time bro is not even explaining how the Krusty Krab ended up in Liberia. Or actually, he kinda does?
Many of you were asking about Liberia's flag theory in the Squidward's Income Videos comment section, so here are the details. By choosing Liberia's flag, Mr. Krabs can bypass Bikini Bottom's local labor laws.
Yeah, but you can't just choose that they are in Liberia to make a theory work. People are not asking about why the Liberian tax laws would be beneficial for crabs. They are asking how on earth you came to the conclusion that Bikini Bottom is in Liberia. It's like if in my video on which way SpongeBob goes to work, I'm like, yeah, SpongeBob takes place in Britain, and in Britain you drive on the left side on the road, so obviously when it goes to the left, it has to be, yeah, blah, 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 left. SpongeBob goes to left, 30 Liberian dollars. Now, mispronounced words are also very sus, especially with this guy's channel, since the narrator pretty much always has perfect English.
It's Employee Brotherhood Day at the Krusty Krab, a day on which all employees must exchange gifts that they made themselves.
But he said this is his, that's hard to say, said this is his own. But he said this, how do I even say this? But he said that this is his own voice, so I guess he just has problems with the word employee. You know, can't blame him, because I just had problems with the words, what was it, is, his? Yeah. But yeah, this guy, narrator, perfect English, like perfect pronunciations of words that I don't even know what they mean, but yet he can't say employee, and it's in multiple videos as well.
If she charges $500 per employee for a corporate training program and trains 20 employees per year, she'd earn $10,000 annually from just one company.
In this video, he also does the modern SpongeBob thing and forgets that the show takes place underwater.
Utilities like water and electricity might add another $300.
Utilities like water? That's not a utility. You can just, like, what? Where do you think this business is operating? All he needs to do is like get a bucket and like scoop it around in the air. Like, utilities, fuck $300, just roo, and you got some water.
Not to mention utilities, water and electricity aren't free, even in Bikini Bottom. Let's estimate she spends $1,200 annually on those alone.
Again bro, water literally is free in Bikini Bottom, so yeah.
Plankton patented her design. He could rake in billions. For comparison, in the real world, advanced AI systems like ChatGPT.
Oh shit, face reveal, damn.
I mean, we all have that friend who acts broke but is secretly a millionaire. I want you to tag that friend below and tell them that they and Plankton have some similarities.
Bro thinks this is like Instagram or something. What was that? He must have asked ChatGPT how we can increase the comment to view ratio, because yeah, his videos are looking bad. And half of those are just asking how we ended up in Liberia.
You ever wonder how Pearl Krabs manages to afford her expensive shopping sprees while her dad treats every penny like it's his firstborn?
This voice is very similar to the voice of like every other channel in this content farm niche. Sweaty Clam, for example, which is a Family Guy white background content farm.
So, we're all eagerly awaiting the arrival of Season 23 in 2025, but Family Guy has been kind enough to bless us with 2 specials for the holidays.
But this channel is not a white thumbnail background content farm, because he changed this video's thumbnail, as it was white... I really can't pronounce words today, maybe I'm AI. It was a white void background as usual at first, but then someone in the comments told him he should change it, as it's the bad spongetube thumbnail. Sums it up pretty well. And he changed it. He is a part of that side of YouTube, but like I said, they are getting smarter, or at least their comments are getting smarter. Watch out.